I have great concerns out here in Berlin at the Bergmanstrasse cemetery complex. This is one of three essentially separate graveyards that are all more or less connected. And I'm in the easternmost one, which goes quite deep, goes deeper than the others, and really just has a section that seems to be hardly visited. I just kind of glanced through it the other day, and I was just amazed at how kind of cut off it is from everything else. No particular prominent citizens that I'm aware of. I'm sure there are. We'll stumble upon a few here and there. But mostly I just want to get the aesthetic of this place because it's beautiful. And, you know, I'm out here on a gray day, which suits it, gives it a nice even lighting, adds to the somber quality. This is quite a crypt right here. Holy cow. Family Jordan, it's huge. And it's another one of these that doesn't seem to have a roof. Seems to be the case on a lot of these. I'm just going to go check this out here with these rusty gates. Probably nothing going on in there. Hopefully not. Yeah, just a lot of debris. Some trees have fallen through here. And it's roofless. I don't know that it always was that way, but it seems to be the case for a lot of these crypts. They're all missing their roofs. Quite a few large crypts here. This is a tough one to read. Looks like Kraus, maybe. Interesting figures there. Lots of interesting figures, actually. Let me just take a closer look at this. These ominous steps. Not sure what it says down there, but I'm liking these faces. It looks kind of theatrical. These theater faces. And the statues seem damaged, missing their heads or something. Or no, the heads are kind of curled around. I guess they're not damaged, they're just worn. Really fascinating kind of Art Deco looking sculptures. There's some writing here along the wall that would take quite a while to decipher. But definitely looks 1910s or 20s. Almost Vienna Secession, if you know that, which is sort of in between Art Nouveau and Art Deco. Here's another fascinating roofless crypt for Stegheim or Stegheim? Roofless. I'm going to guess that all these roofless ones just caved in or got ruined by the war, that they weren't designed that way. But it does have a certain aesthetic for sure. Look at this ironwork here with these kind of twisted ribbons, overgrown with ivy. Romer family, this is huge. Interesting carvings in there. This looks quite intact. Burkhardt over here, missing its doors, but it looks like the roof's intact. It's dark in there. Great angel reliefs here. That was the other characteristic of this place, is that once you get into the deeper end, you just don't see anyone. Though I didn't see this section before, and it seems like I'm a little boxed in. I'm going to have to go north again to get around. But that's okay, because I'm seeing some cool stuff here. Hefter family, really great script on that. 1885. And some newer ones here. 2015. In an old family plot. And as you can see, it's quite overgrown. I guess they're slowly getting around to maintaining this, because there are other sections that are definitely trimmed down. Let me just pause here, because I don't think there's anything here. This is a solemn looking grave, and it's one of the things I wanted to do here is just kind of get into the aesthetic of these really beautiful old graves that are kind of neglected, abandoned. Looks like the last name is Frickert here, and it's really hard to read, but it's mid-19th century. It looks like I'm seeing 1850s, and that's what we're going to see here as I get deeper, is just stuff that hasn't been repaired in any way in years. This one's got a temporary kind of makeshift roof on it, but I really like the look of these doors here. This has got a beautiful Art Nouveau quality, but it's all rusted out, and the wood's kind of coming through, a bit patched together. Just beautiful colors on there. See if we can just take a peek inside that. Not gonna look like too much. No, just a little shelf for some flowers, but I don't see any markers in there whatsoever. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of that kind of broken crypt. Here's another one with no roof. Soccer dot, it says up top. Had to kind of go a circuitous route from where I just was to get here. Sometimes these crypt walls just serve as barriers. We've got the Alpha and the Omega and the Cairo in the middle. So these Greek letters, Cairo for Christ, Alpha and Omega for beginning and end. This one needs propping. They all do. Finally, I'm out here in this third westernmost section, or let me think, easternmost section, where things are falling apart a bit. Dr. Helmut Spath seems to be somewhat updated. Interesting bust in here. But yeah, there's a lot of neglect out here, both in groundskeeping and in the statuary, like we see here in this headless form. But it's a fascinating section and worth exploring here. And it goes deep, so we're in for a long walk here. But this is a beautiful path sometimes, you know, things that are overgrown, they have their own aesthetic, their own beauty. And, you know, these old cemeteries, they can take it. They can take a lot of neglect and then kind of come back. So, you know, they're gonna get this place trimmed up. It's already trimmed up over here to my right, and the path just looks gorgeous. But you know, some of these old busted stones, they can take decades before they get around to repairing some of them, and that's all right. Maybe they never do in some cases. But let's just see where this leads us. So I'm going north now towards Tempelhof, which is beyond the walls of the cemetery, but just to give you an idea where that is on the map, because Tempelhof is a significant area. It's really old, actually. The grounds were used for military training in the Middle Ages. These days it's a massive park, but it was a Nazi airport in the 40s, and then regular West Berlin airport after that, after the war. Just checking out some of this overgrown but beautiful area. I love these two mourning figures on this stone here. 1949. So I'm not sure when. I want to say that Tempelhof was a functioning airport until the 90s, maybe even the early 2000s. That's also the site of the famous Berlin airlift, where the Allies were getting supplies over to the west side. This is an interesting one. C.H. Opperman, 1984. So the stones here, and I'm gonna head this way, are a bit far and wide. Actually, let me go over here. I think I'm seeing some beehives. Let's go check that out. Yeah. Why not? Great place for bees. Lots of wildflowers out here. You can see them buzzing. Hopefully they're not going to get stung. So yeah, there's stuff going on here. And that's one of the things too about Tempelhof now is there are gardens in there, just like little community gardens. It's, you know, evidently an old airport. The runway is massive, and people are windsurfing on it and biking and rollerblading. More beehives. See them buzzing there at the bottom. So very garden-like out here now. And now I'm coming along the wall. And really the corner, the northern corner of this whole place. And I can see actually the radar tower at Tempelhof. I'm going to swing around here so you can see that. Give you a sense of how close we are to Tempelhof. So there it is, kind of a prominent landmark, along with some cell phone tower. I know that next to that too is one of these gardens. Oh, here's a beautiful example of a crypt with a kind of a broken door. It's got a B for the family name, but we can't really see it anymore. Not much to see in there, actually, other than the busted door on the ground and some interesting tiles. So yeah, these they have these gardens all over Berlin and really all over Germany, where people recreate, and they're not supposed to live in there year-round, but I think some do. And sometimes these little buildings have electricity and pools and all kinds of things for recreation, as well as gardening. Koerner, Koerner, 1855. Death date 1899, death date 1927. So there's a garden adjacent to this as well. And now some more of these crypts along the wall that are kind of falling apart, but again, have their own beauty. Again, with the symbols on top, the alpha, the omega, and the Chi-Rho in the center. And this is just along the wall, so we're seeing the brick. Beautiful sculpture here with the roots of this tree for the Kruger family. And now the Kropp family. Bit of a broken Roman looking relief on the left. I never see anybody out here in this section. It's just a little bit beyond everything. Another sorrowful statue. Wisterman. Nice Art Deco lettering there. Hard to see behind all the foliage. This has kind of a, if I can get up top, Vienna Secession, Jugendstil maybe. Jugendstil is the German expression of Art Nouveau. So we're talking 1890 to 1910. Vienna Secession comes out around 1910. That's the movement that Gustav Klimt belonged to. So Art Nouveau is going to be marked by this sort of plant-like line. Art Deco is getting much more geometric, getting into the machine age, but there's this period in between where everything's still kind of curvy, but it's getting a little more geometric. This is fascinating looking here. It's all kind of blank. I can see the names on the bottom now, but that head, the way that's integrated into that, has a very Art Deco feel. And sure enough, death date on the left 1906, but on the right 1920. So we're straddling that period of Art Nouveau and Art Deco. And I'm seeing interesting stuff on the left. I don't like swinging this around. I know that can be dizzying. But there's another cool family crypt here with a pretty interesting, again, Art Deco looking statue. A bit streamlined. You know, think of Batman. That's prime Art Deco. It's got the Alpha, Omega, and Chi-Rho on the top. Graf. Steffi Graf is from here, the tennis player, and there is a stadium, tennis stadium named for her out by the forest, Grunewald. This is fascinating looking. Hermann Stücklen, 1904. So again, right on the edge of this Art Nouveau and Vienna Secession period. Really interesting looking sculpture there. Lubin. This Light's kind of washing it out a bit there, but interesting relief. Metal relief. It almost looks like Geiger from Alien. Hard to see what's going on there, but definite Vienna Secession kind of stuff. This is a little leaning more towards Art Nouveau, and it's hard to say because we've got death dates of 1906 for Otto Lubin. It's very Jugendstil looking. Again, getting washed out here by the sun, or the glow of the sky. Another family crypt here on the right with some fascinating sculptures. And a mosaic. This one's a bit beaten up here. Got some blank panels into the wall, but this mosaic is pretty cool. Some Greek lettering on top. An altar. Another figure on the left. So yeah, I would say a lot of Jugendstil designs here, certainly lettering. Going neoclassical into Art Nouveau, into Jugendstil, into Vienna Secession. This is great looking. We can find a year on here. Let's see. This is the Bonhoff family. I'm struggling to find years in all the writing. But again, I'm going to guess late 19th century on this one. And here's another missing crypt with missing roof here. Actually, it looks like a storehouse for old stones, old plaques. Wow. Mostly from the 50s. Not sure what's up with that. Gustav Elchig, 1903. Very Art Nouveau. Look at the natural forms, butterfly here, and all of this intertwining plant. A bit like you might see with Mucha, though certainly its own style. And then these figures integrated into the pillars with kind of a flower petal motif. Very feathery wings on that angel. Bit of an Alphonse Mucha style. You can just kind of see how this is all overgrown here, and got some random stones in the middle. I'm going to pause here again. Kind of heading out here now. This is the family Loblich. I don't know what we would call this. From 1881, some kind of terraced area for general public speaking. Memorialization. Beautiful statuary. The whole thing's incredible. It's got really nice looking Roman, I don't know what these are called, pyres or something, where you have a fire or a sacrificial basin. And we're sort of at the peak. There's a bit of a hill here. I'm at the peak of it. And this whole thing is adjacent to a really cool looking cathedral. Well, we can see the spire of it coming up soon. And it's really a soot-covered cathedral, so maybe you can see it there on the horizon, though it's pretty dark beyond the angel. It's got a clock tower. It's a really cool-looking cathedral. Swing back around on this angel statue here. Emma and Albert Hoffman died in 1880. Beautiful statue and family plot here. These are a few graves that I missed in this cemetery where Mendelssohn is buried. There's some interesting statues in here and a few prominent Berliners that I don't know who they are, but they've got the marker of significance, or whatever the Berliners call it, grave of honor. So nice statue there. A little dirty, definitely in need of a cleaning, but quite a beauty. And then a few on this side. It's kind of at the edge of the cemetery here. Georg Buchsenstein would be worth looking up. Maybe something to do with sports, some kind of an athlete, a rudder club, maybe I see regatta, so some kind of a sailor. Oh, cute little red squirrel. What's it? I can't catch him. And then I really like this guy's name here. Definitely worth looking up. He's got a grave of honor. Petrus Simon Pallas. Academic. Not sure. A lot of words I don't know there. 1811 though. Beautiful relief here. And then this one has fantastic script on it. Friedrich Wehling. Cool bronze. Really cool script on there. 1809. Not sure what he did, something under Friedrich II, but an interesting Roman scene down below here. Looks like Gabriel with his horn being sent out to collect Friedrich. And then there's a couple behind him here, or across the alley, I should say, with some really interesting little sculptures. The Ackermans. Louis Ackerman Kaufman. Looks like Freud there, with his wife Wilhelmina. And Hans Ackerman, 1879. There's another one to the right, but it's sort of buried in bushes and broken. But also along the top, we have a little Christ bust popping out here, as well as the Lamb of God on the right. And then it looks like the chalice, or the Holy Grail, with crown of thorns and kind of a broken snake coming out of there. So lots of great biblical symbolism in this set here with the Ackermans. This is the Martin Gropius crypt, or plot, I should say. Kind of a neoclassical design. He was the uncle, or the great uncle, of the Bauhaus architect Walter Gropius, but he himself is a significant architect. Beautiful neoclassical relief here. You can barely see his name. I've walked by here a few times and missed it, but it says Martin Gropius in that kind of center relief below the altar. But there's a museum called the Gropius Bau, the Gropius Building, which miraculously survived from all the bombings of World War II. It's a 19th century building, and they always have great exhibits there. The graves are actually down here on the ground, and Martin is in the bottom left of this set of four. There's another amazing example of war damage. You can see the explosion in this rock incredibly clearly. Bottom left corner chunk taken out, and just a spray of shrapnel.